Well, hi guys, welcome to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Earnings Express with me, Nandita Khemka. On this live stream of Earnings Express today, the spotlight is on Reliance Industries as the numbers came out last evening. Fairly strong set of numbers led by continued strength in Reliance Retail as well as Reliance Jio. And this time around, oil and gas business has also been pretty strong, and that has also contributed to the strong show from Reliance Industries. Before we delve deeper into the numbers, let me bring on board my colleague Rachita Prasad, who will be taking us through the fine print of these numbers. Great to have you on the show, Rachita. This is a customary chat that we have every Saturday, every quarter rather, on Saturdays, where we decode the Reliance numbers, right? But this time around, what's different is that we are not the only ones working. Even the stock markets are open today, right? So it's an out and out working day. And of course, great to have you here with us. Take us through the overall performance for Reliance Industries first before we delve into the segmental performance.
Hi, Nandita. Good morning and happy to be here on this wonderful Saturday morning, as you rightly pointed out. So Reliance numbers, you may have seen the numbers already, but just to kind of summarize it, overall, the net profit was up 10.9% at 19,641 crores. If you look at the estimates that came in, it's higher than that. So on that account, of course, the company has performed well. Revenue is up around 3.2%. So if you look at the numbers overall, what has happened in this quarter is that the consumer fronting divisions of Reliance, which is Jio and retail, they have performed very well. We have seen a little bit of a dampener in the O2C business, which is the oils to chemicals business, which represents the petrochemical business. But in the oil and gas business, where the company actually kind of reports is its exploration and production of oil and gas, that has been a strong performance, and the company has reported its the record highest EBITDAs in that division in particular. So all in all, a strong quarter. Of course, the key drivers are the consumer-centric businesses.
Right, consumer-centric businesses continue to drive Reliance's performance, but this time the street was expecting some bit of weakness in the O2C segment, right? But despite that, would you say that the segment has been fairly resilient? What were the factors that contributed to the performance in this particular segment?
You're talking about the O2C segment.
Right.
So in the O2C segment, you have to understand what's happening globally. Right now, given the global environment, there is a somewhat of a dampness in demand. It's not as strong as a lot of companies would want it to be, and that is reflecting on margins overall. Now, having said that, the demand in India continues to be resilient, and that is something that Reliance also reiterated during the conference call that they had with reporters last evening after the results. The O2C business revenue is up 2.4%, EBITDA is up 1%. So you have to understand that this has happened despite a few reasons. There was a global weakness in demand in the quarter. B, the competition that they are facing has squeezed margins in some of the specific segments. C, this quarter also saw a significant decline in crude oil prices, and finally, and most importantly, Reliance also undertook planned shutdown of some of its units. So, if you take all that into account, it's not been a strong quarter per se for the O2C business, but given these factors, it's been quite resilient. In fact, the management pointed out something interesting yesterday, that had it not been for the planned shutdown of units that they take normally, for the upkeep of the manufacturing units, if that had not happened in this quarter, they would have actually managed to report EBITDA which was stronger on a year-on-year basis and comparable to the last quarter. So that's where they stand as far as the O2C business is concerned. Nandita?
Right, resilience in the O2C business despite muted expectations. But oil and gas, let's talk about that segment. You mentioned highest ever quarterly EBITDA there. What were the takeaways from this particular segment?
So, see, their oil and gas business has been steadily growing in the last few quarters. They have been clocking strong numbers because the production has gradually gone up. So, what is interesting is that in this quarter, the output from KG-D6, it's reached, it's gone up significantly. It's reached the levels of 30 MMSCMD, which was around only 19.2 in the same quarter last year. So that's a significant rise. Again, from their MJ fields, also they have been able to substantially increase output. So these are good signs. They have been able to scale up output, and that's showing a good impact on the results. And of course, in this quarter, they have reported their highest ever quarterly EBITDA from this business, which is a good sign. Nandita.
Right. Rachita, let's shift focus to the consumer-facing businesses. Of course, that has been a key driver for earnings, when it comes to Reliance Industries, right? Telecom segment has been a key driver for many quarters now at a stretch. But this time, once again, we've seen strong subscriber additions, right? And of course, it continues to gain market share from competitors as well. Take us through what kind of subscriber additions they've seen, and, how has the entire 5G scale-up worked out for Jio?
So, Nandita, first of all, the 5G rollout has been successful, and the management is quite happy about it because there has been a lot of transition that has happened to their 5G platform. Overall, the Jio business performed rather well. Both on both accounts, revenue and EBITDA, it has grown in double digits. So that's a strong growth there. If you look at the different parameters to judge this business, they have managed to report good numbers. ARPU, as you pointed out, the average revenue per user, that has gone up 2%. This indicates, the average use that is happening. In terms of the absolute numbers, the number of subscriber itself has gone up. The net additions have gone up some 8.8%. And if you look at customer engagement, that is also higher. So they have been able to improve on all these accounts, and they sounded very upbeat. They were talking about how the services are expanding, and they are working towards improving customer engagement. And looks like the next few quarters could also be interesting in terms of the numbers if this momentum continues. Nandita.
Right, Rachita, let's talk about the other lever, the retail segment, record revenues. We've seen record revenues in this segment, and of course, the impact of delayed festive season also trickling in here, right? But take us through the internals here as well.
So, Nandita, if you recollect, when we were having a similar discussion after the second quarter results, we had spoken about how the results in the retail business were quite good, but that did not really capture the festive demand, right? So that has come through in this quarter, and the numbers are looking quite good. Revenues up 22.8%, EBITDA up 31%. So these are strong numbers on the back of the festive demand that has come up. They have recorded, very significant footfall. Footfall in this particular quarter itself has gone up some 40%. Yes, so 40% increase in footfall overall. They have added some 250 plus new stores. And the interesting thing that the management mentioned is that, in both formats, whether it's the stores that they have, the physical store or the e-commerce business, they are expanding their reach, and it's kind of reflecting into numbers. They're sounding very upbeat about the brands they have and how they are kind of expanding in different segments of retail through these tie-ups and through these brands. All in all, a very strong quarter, and retail is a story to watch out for, and there'll be more announcements, I'm guessing, in terms of brands that they get on board because they've been consistently doing that. So that will be one interesting space to watch out for, Nandita.
So right, of course, a strong show by Reliance Industries. That was largely the fine print. But what does the future really hold? You attended the management con call last evening, right? Have they provided any color on their future plans and what the road ahead looks like, perhaps for the new energy business and consumer-facing businesses? What new are they planning to do with these two, Reliance Jio and Reliance Retail?
Absolutely. They kind of gave some indication on some of those things. The new energy business, the gigafactories that they are opening, they said that they're quite confident that it's work. The plan is being executed as per schedule, and it will be commissioned, in 2024 calendar year. So that's an interesting development. Then, other than that, they sounded upbeat about Jio. They sounded upbeat about retail. Both in their own way are looking to penetrate into deeper into the markets and engage customers on in a more significant way. The oil and gas business output will remain strong. They have already scaled up the production quite a bit. There are some concerns about global gas prices that the management spoke about. They expect some volatility there, and that would be one thing that we'll probably keep an eye on. In the O2C business, they again are closely watching the demand scenario. They mentioned yesterday in the con call that they have seen some improvement in demand, but again, a lot of this demand would be linked closely to how Europe and China pans out, and in terms of the winters, how that pans out, that will have a significant impact on energy prices. So those are some factors to watch out for at a macro level. Another interesting thing that they spoke about is, which is something that has been a story in making. I mean, they have done the chunk of their capex is already done, and now the capex numbers are moderating because they are, towards the fag end of that capex cycle. So basically, their intention now is, that to have a strong balance sheet that they have, to keep the cash flow strong. And as capex moderates, there will be significant value creation. That's what CFO of Reliance also said yesterday. So I think that will be something to watch out for as well, Nandita.
All right, of course, strength in consumer-facing businesses, management optimistic on that, and of course, when it comes to the energy business, some bit of macro challenges on a global level. But with that, Rachita, thanks a lot for taking out time and joining in, and breaking down the numbers and providing us with a fine print of how the third quarter has really panned out for Reliance Industries. Well, I wish you a very happy weekend, and I'll see you at work next week. Thanks a lot for joining in. Well, for all our viewers, thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates.